Hey guys, so I am currently in a cafe right now in Sweden, and to be honest, this is like my first time filming outside. It's a little scary, but once in a while we gotta do things that scare us. So yeah, I have been in Sweden for like a couple weeks now, and for those of you who don't know, I recently quit my job, and then about a week and a half later I flew to Sweden because my sister lives here. She's gonna have a second baby soon. Came to visit, help out, and just take a little bit of a few months break. Let me show you guys what I'm having right now. Okay, so this is a vegan chocolate pecan brownie, and then I got myself an oat milk latte. This is what my view currently looks like. So I had actually planned a whole video for this, and I even prepared like a script and everything. So I was actually, and this is a bit of a spoiler I guess, for the next video, I was actually going to talk about my worst relationship mistakes, because relationships is something that I haven't talked about too much on this channel. And yeah, there's been a lot of you guys in the comments saying that, oh, it would be quite interesting to see more content from you on this kind of topic. And I do have a lot of things that I think would be pretty valuable to share on that. So yeah, that is coming soon. But honestly, when I was like walking around and I was testing out, filming with this, I just felt like, okay, I don't know, this is my first time vlogging outside. I don't feel fully comfortable doing this just yet. And to be talking about something as intimate and as serious as my worst relationship mistakes just felt a bit daunting. So I think today's video is just going to be a very casual, very light update. So yeah, the idea is to just take you guys on a solo date with me in town and explore Sweden together whilst I give you some life updates. And I'll also be like sharing a lot more about, I guess, how life has been since quitting my job and just all my thoughts and feelings around it. So yeah. Also, a little bit of a weather update. It's almost May at this point, but we're still in the single digits. Like, it's been kind of vacillating between 4 degrees to like 8 degrees Celsius max, which I find kind of insane, but I guess this is normal for Northern Europe. Okay, we have reached the second location. It was about a 25-minute walk. Oh, okay, it started to rain. Okay, take 2. So thankfully it stopped raining after about 15 minutes. So yeah, this is the second location. I need to find the name of it, but it's pretty central. Okay, so I thought it would be really nice to pick the spot and just vlog. It's been like 2 weeks now since my final day of work, and it honestly feels so surreal. I think the fact that I just flew to a different country almost straight away still makes it feel very unreal. I feel like as soon as I quit my job, I just felt instantly so much better. When you're on holiday and you're only really gone for like, I don't know, a few days to maybe a couple weeks at a time, you sort of have this low-key dread in the back of your mind because you know that this is all temporary and you're gonna have to go back to work soon. So you're not like fully relaxed, I would say. And yeah, it's like you have something to dread. And I don't know, this feeling has been so foreign to me, like what I'm feeling right now, because I don't have that dread. It's not as if like, oh, okay, when I leave Sweden, I'm gonna have to go back to my job. It's, that's not the case. Another massive difference that I've noticed, other than, not having that sense of dread anymore, is the fact that I sleep so much better now. And I kind of have an idea of why this is. So nowadays, I sleep at 11 p.m. or earlier sometimes, and I wake up at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. and it's been really good for my circadian rhythm. And yeah, I've just been feeling like fully rested and stuff. Whereas like when I was back in KL and when I was still working, I wouldn't be able to sleep until like maybe 1 a.m. and then I have to wake up for work at like 7-ish or 8. And that was on like a good day. Most days it's like I'll get maybe 6 hours of sleep on average. And here it's like, oh, I'm sleeping 7 to 8. And to be honest, I think I wasn't really sleeping well back then because I was always under this low level, constant state of tension and anxiety. I think that's what it was. I was never like fully relaxed. I was just like tense all the time without really realizing it. And because of that, like it affected my sleep and, you know, my ability to wind down. Okay, so what have I mentioned so far? First is not having that sense of dread. Number 2 is better sleep. And I guess the third thing that I would say is having more time. Back when I was working in KL, I felt like I just never had time ever. And so I needed to be like that hyper productive, super efficient person that needed to do like, you know, 1,000 things at once. So for example, obviously I don't have all the time in the world to work on YouTube. And so I would spend my commute hours just like scripting on the train, for example. That's the only time I would ever script, really. It's very rare that I would actually be sat down somewhere just focusing on scripting. Like I'm always on the move, or I'm eating dinner, or I'm in the toilet, or whatever it is. And that is when I would do that. And yeah, I would only like edit in like small pockets of time. So like if I'm coming back from the gym and I have like an hour, let's say, you know, before it's time to wind down to go to bed, then yeah, I would just like edit as much as I can for an hour and then, you know, continue again the next day and just do everything in little chunks, which like it was manageable, but it wasn't the best because I'm the kind of person that easily gets quite anxious about things. And so if I feel like I'm being rushed, then it puts me under a low level of stress, which I really don't like. But I think it was just something that I got used to, especially working full time and doing YouTube as well. And so having time to actually do things that I find meaningful and that's important to me, that has been a massive game changer. And it's crazy to think that how most people just spend most of their day and most of their week being somewhere that they don't want to be, doing stuff that they don't want to be doing. And I don't know, the fact that this is normalized, it makes me feel sad. And it's one of those things where people would be like, oh yeah, it is what it is, you know, you got to earn a living and it's called a job for a reason because someone has to do it. But seriously, like it does not have to be like this. Okay, so I think I'm gonna move to the next location right now because it's super loud here. Like I think there's a busker that's just started singing, which is really nice, but not ideal for vlogging. So let's go to the park. Okay, so I reached the park and I have a clip of the name of it earlier, but for the life of me, I will not attempt to pronounce it. But yeah, I figured this would be a much quieter place to vlog. I'm trying to remember what I was talking about earlier, but I think we left off where I was talking about having more time. And yeah, in general, like it feels nice to not feel so pressured for time anymore. And I think what I was saying earlier is that most people are so time starved, especially, you know, when they're working full time. For me, I just hated having my day start at like 8 p.m. basically. And by that, I mean when I actually start doing stuff that matters to me, which is like my YouTube stuff and taking care of my health, like, you know, cooking and going to the gym, spending time with people that I love. And I just hated having to condense all of that into a few hours in a day and the weekend. Whereas like the majority of the week, the majority of the day would be spent in such a time-sucking and soul-sucking thing. Okay, so I just shifted my seat a little bit because the sun was hitting my face. But yeah, after having said all of that, I do understand that I come from a very privileged position because not everyone can just up and quit their jobs, and not everyone has a family member on the other side of the world that they can just stay with for a while. And yeah, it's all well and good me telling people like, oh yeah, you know, it's been amazing, like quitting my job and how great it is and how you should do it too. And I get that it can come across as sounding very privileged and out of tune or out of touch and or whatever, you know, pretentious, that's the word, yeah. I get that it can sound pretty pretentious, but genuinely I feel like when you're young and you don't really have responsibilities, or not many anyway, you don't have commitments like, you know, a bunch of loans or a family to take care of, and you only have yourself really to worry about, then, you know, you have all this freedom. And in my honest opinion, if you have the chance to do it, even if it is for a little while, like even if it's 6 months, then, you know, why not? You really don't have much to lose. And 6 months in the grand scheme of things, especially, you know, when you consider how a normal career is decades long, then 6 months is barely anything. It's just a blip in the timeline, really. And, you know, that blip can make all the difference in the world. In 6 months or a year, you realize that, hey, I could be doing something else with my life. And maybe I don't need to go back to my job or whatever I was doing before. And especially if you move to like a different country for a little while, it opens your perspective a lot on things. And on that note, I actually won't be going back to work anytime soon. And in fact, I'll be going somewhere else for a year after I'm done in Sweden these next couple months, but I won't share that until I get there. So, you know, stay tuned for that, and I'll be sharing all the details with you guys very, very soon. And before I ramble on for much longer, I just wanted to ask you guys what you thought about the format of today's video, I guess. Like, do you like these sort of videos where I take you around town, you know, on my little solo dates, where I just like explore the town and just sit down in random places and just talk about stuff? Or maybe you prefer like my typical video format where I'm just like kind of sat in my room and just talking to the camera, or maybe a mixture of both. Just let me know what you guys think so far. And to be honest, like I do get that this video might feel a little all over the place because, like I mentioned before, I was planning on talking about a specific topic, and that was on relationships, and I had a whole script planned, but I decided, you know what, for my first time vlogging and talking outdoors in public, maybe that's not the vibe, and I just wanted to, you know, do something that was a little less daunting and a little less serious, hence this semi-chaotic life update. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I am always really excited to hear from you guys and hope you're doing well. As always, take care and see you in the next video.